What up? What up? So, today is July 4th. I just watched Stranger Things, just watched the last episode, and I quit my job at Amazon. So, I watched the last week tonight, I think it is. I watched a clip of that. Actually, it was Amazon employees on Facebook who shared it, multiple employees, well, a couple. Watched it and I showed my sister, and she was already just against me working there. And she was like, why would you work there? Don't go back, don't go back. But for some context, I took a leave of absence for a couple weeks because I was just so exhausted. And the job was always going to be temporary for me because I have another job. I'm 6 months on, 6 months off. And I like that job. So I'm not about to give it up. I like the benefits. So I work at an airport for an airline and I get free flights. I'm not giving that up, even though it's 6 months on, 6 months off. So I'm like, well, in the 6 months I'll work. And I was offered some options at Amazon. I didn't really like them. One was part-time. It was kind of far. I'm like, I'm not driving all the way there or catching a bus or doing all of that for 4 hours a day. And then one was actually near the airport where I work. And, but it was 4 days a week, 10 hours. And so the crazy thing is, in looking at and considering the job, I actually watched Cedric Johnson's video. He's a YouTuber and he was featured on the Last Week Tonight. I think that's the name of that show. I'll have to put it in the description box if it's not. But he was featured in that video. In that I don't know what you call it, a session, skit, whatever they call it. He was on there, and so I watched his video and I got the job anyway. I took the job anyway. Once they posted a 3-day-a-week position that paid more money than all the other positions. And I knew I only had to go 3 days, maybe 4 for mandatory overtime. For the same reason that Cedric Johnson says he took the job, I took the job. Temporary, can't be that bad. Just want to save up some money. My goal was to have enough for a down payment on a car before I go back to the airport and just knock some things out, get some things done. And with the amount that they were paying, I'm like, shoot, I only have to be here a couple of months. They don't care when they hire you. They don't know who you are. They don't really develop relationships. So I'm like, they're not going to miss me when I leave. They're replacing people like that. So I didn't feel no way about that. But just doing the job and dealing with my health and trying to stay mentally healthy, it was hard. It was really hard. And the job itself seems simple, but the atmosphere, the culture, the way it's set up, I've had some crappy jobs. And I worked for some companies that in the bigger scheme of things, I didn't really feel good about the company. I worked for Chase Bank. I worked for BMO Harris Bank. I don't like big banks. I don't like, how they're structured. I don't like how, it took so many regulations just for them to treat people and treat their customers fairly, and they still find ways to finagle money out of people. And now a lot of those regulations are being challenged and undone by the current administration. But either way, I've worked for companies I don't like. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't support Amazon. I had already boycotted them. I don't spend money on their websites. But I'm like, if I could make some money off of them, cool. Got in there and just 12 hours a day. For the money, I just kept trying to push it. But my body really couldn't handle those last 4 or 3 hours, especially on the third day. I picked up some overtime doing 7-hour shifts, which was easy. And I had already decided in my mind, these numbers they looking for, they're not about to get them out of me. And I'm not a lazy person, but physically, I just would have to be in way better shape. And that's another thing. They didn't do a physical. For it to be such a physically demanding job, and you're going up and down these stairs, you would just think they would do a physical. My job at the airport, I had to do a physical to work outside with those planes and to load luggage into the plane. So I thought there would be one, but it wasn't. So all in all, I took the leave of absence after working a ton of overtime. I got almost $2,500 in that last check. Took the 2 weeks off. Went back on, what day was that? Tuesday, because the whole thing with my schedule, I think I put that in another video, but I was mad just about how to change the schedule because I just was looking forward to watching Stranger Things and having a simple week before grinding it out, working and, saving and ultimately quitting that job. But I still wasn't getting any sleep, still wasn't feeling great even after a couple of weeks of not doing much physical work. So my sister was not on board with me going back. My younger sister, she didn't even really know. And my younger sister is the one who owns the house and is doing the work here, but she didn't know what I was going through about it. But on Wednesday, yesterday, I was getting ready to go to work, feeling horrible. But I'm like, even if I quit, I don't want to quit now. I don't want to quit today. I just want to get a couple shifts in, but I felt like garbage. But my younger sister was here getting the Airbnb ready for some family that we had coming in town. Long story there. And I went down there to help her, told her, if you take me to the express bus, I can help you out for a minute. And she was like, yeah, I'll drop you off at the bus, or I'll just take you all the way out there. Because it's far. It's like maybe almost 30 miles away from here. And I just take an express bus to get there. But we just went back and forth, and she is leaving her job. She has a way better job to pursue some things. And she's been there a while, and she has her master's. And so just felt transitional, and we talked a little about family, and I just was struggling because if she wasn't here waiting on me to get ready to go, I would have been having like an internal dialogue with myself, just trying to get myself mentally prepared to go there. And the main thing I was telling myself was like, okay, I'm going to leave soon, but I just need to crank out some more shifts before I leave. But I got in the car with her, and she decides, we waited till the last minute, so she took me all the way there. I just after talking to her and realizing that the money just wasn't worth it. It wasn't. She saw some people in the parking lot. I was like, you better than this. And I had to set her straight because I'm like, girl, everybody walking in that door deserves better than this. Some people enjoy it. The money is good and it's a fit for them. But I feel like it's almost like car sales. Like if the opportunity came up and you're desperate for a job, you would try to do it. But the reality is, to be a car salesman is a job that's really only for a certain type of person, And the average person willing to work and even willing to try would not succeed at selling cars. So that's what that job really felt like. So I just decided to quit. I'm like, if I keep busting my butt and I feel like the money is not amounting to meeting the goals I was trying to meet, even after budgeting and doing these things and taking time off because I feel too sick and too tired to go, it just didn't make any sense. So I just quit. And they don't care. You could quit on the app and just log on and push a button and resign, but they said they were actually getting rid of that and wanted people to come in and sign a paper. And I'm like, why? And the HR girl said, because we want to talk to you. I'm like, no, it's because it's Prime Week and y'all want people to have to come in either way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can quit from home, it'll be too easy. But if you have to come in, you may as well work. And I considered it. I'm like, nah, I'm not staying. Because if my sister dropped me off, I wasn't going to stay for that full 11-hour shift to catch the bus home. And the bus doesn't run in the middle of the night because I worked from like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. typically. And these were 11-hour shifts, so it was 6 to 5 a.m. So I'm like, And even then, I was still thinking about it. I was still thinking, maybe I'll do it, maybe I'll do it. Trying to be, I guess, responsible. I don't know. Just crazy. Desperate. So I quit. Came home. Watched some TV. Waited on Stranger Things, which was supposed to, I think it was supposed to be on Netflix at midnight. But I assumed they meant midnight Eastern Standard Time, and it turns out they meant midnight Pacific, not Central Pacific. I'm like, this is America. When you say something premieres at midnight, the expectation is you mean Eastern Standard Time, and that California just got to wait. But I didn't look at enough of the posts to see that it was actually 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And midnight on the other side of the country. So I couldn't really stay up for that. Naturally, my sleep is already messed up. I'm not getting a lot of sleep, and working late like that has shifted things, but I still couldn't stay up for that. So, but when I woke up, I started watching it. And I'm not good with like reviews and all that. Of course, I have opinions about it. I think it was fun. It was interesting. I liked Erica because she's crazy and smart without being stereotypical. So it was fun to see her character more. And I knew somebody was going to die, so if you haven't watched it, then I don't want to spoil it for you. But just, people always die, you know. But it was still rough to see it happen. But yeah, after watching it, I just finished it at probably 15, right before I started recording this. Just finished the last episode. Now I'm just like, okay, well, I just bought this TV, about to sell it. I only bought it for this. And ideally, if I had to get another job before I go back to the airport, it would be in a hotel, so then I can have free flights and discounted hotel rates. Like, duh. But the problem with that is I do have a degree and I do have interests and passions beyond just working in the labor sector because of certain benefits. So, and I could tell myself it's temporary, but most of the jobs I've had have been quote unquote like temporary just to meet a certain goal or to get a certain thing done. But most of it was about provision and just needs. And so I'm like, now it can't just be about that. I have to have goals beyond that. And I had some with this job too. But it just wasn't worth it. So, but if you watch the show, if anybody's watching this, let me know what you thought about it. Like, it's not the most well-written show. It never really was. It was fun. The first season was just so engaging and so fun. And to see the flashbacks this season of when they were younger, just reminds you why it was so fun and innocent. And teenagers, it can be sucky. I don't really like teenagers. But people grow up, kids grow up. And it made me miss the older version. It just made me miss watching them as kids, you know, trying to help their friends and stuff. So, yeah. That's that. Oh, this pimple. Popped it. So, I don't know what I'm going to watch now. I really don't think there's nothing on here for me to be watching. So. But, probably just going to wait until the sun goes down and just let the neighborhood folks entertain me with their fireworks and start doing some planning. Start trying to really open up more to different possibilities. Focus on what I can control or what I can do and really release the aspects of this whole thing that it just does not serve me to even think about, let alone worry about. So, and then just wait until I go back to the airport. So, well, this is just a brief update. It's hot as Hades in here. And I guess that is it.